Chapter 205 Extortion. If this automatic mechanism is combined with outstanding soul tools and sealed milk bottles, then we will be able to assemble an army that isn't composed of soul masters, but that will still be able to use soul tools. Isn't that the dream? Even if this future is costly, it will be worth it. If the prince can have an army like that, then there will be no contest at all for the throne. The throne will be practically in his pocket, and his own status in the empire will rise to another level. He will leave a heavy mark in history that will be remembered for eternity. Jing Hengchen was excited as these thoughts ran through his head, and he forced his temper down. He frowned and said, "Who are you? Your invention is indeed impressive, and it will be beneficial for the development of stationary soul tools. However, you have to understand that this is a relatively simple structure, and it still needs continual refinement and improvement, while we are the ones who have to do these things ourselves. Therefore, even though I am willing to offer quite a bit for this, it can't be too outrageous. Name a price or a condition that everyone can accept. If not, there is nothing left to negotiate." Who are you? Grew silent. After an entire minute, he seemed a little pained as he said, "All right, since you are so sincere, Hallmaster, then I will tell you my bottom line." He raised his left hand again as he spoke, and he pressed down the index finger on his right hand. He left a long and straight middle finger. Jing Hengchen stared at the glaring middle finger and went quiet for a few seconds before he recovered. He was indignant as he shouted, "Scram!" Lin Jie's expression was a little black. If Jing Hengchen hadn't been here, he would have probably stepped forward to teach Huo Yue a lesson himself. Huo Yue seemed as if he didn't feel the fury at all. He chortled and said, "Business shouldn't ruin personal relationships. Don't be angry. I even left this for you as a souvenir. Can you see how generous I am? Farewell, then. You just destroyed my heartfelt gift, and you just scolded me. I have decided to raise my price again to 3 Class 9 soul tools, and that's the final and non-negotiable offer. You can sleep on that." With that, he turned around and walked out with a casual gait. Jing Hengchen wanted to stop him, but he was too proud to open his mouth. He stared at the black box in his hands, and the thoughts that came to him before this surfaced once more. Milk bottles connected to energy-gathering soul tools, and activated with a unique automatic mechanism. A Class 4 milk bottle stored soul power would probably be enough to fire dozens of soul rays on the battlefield. "Call him back." Jing Hengchen ultimately asked Lin Jie, agonized. Up to now, Lin Jie still wasn't sure what was going on. However, he could see the grief and indignation on Jing Hengchen's face, and he couldn't help but say, "Hallmaster, you're too nice and forgiving to this fellow. Why don't I go teach him a lesson? I told you to call him back. Can you understand simple words?" Jing Hengchen shouted, and scared Lin Jie so much that he scampered away immediately. After another minute, Huo Yue was standing before Jing Hengchen yet again. "Sit down." Jing Hengchen pointed at the chair in front of his desk before he turned to Lin Jie and said, "Pour a cup of water for him, and then you can leave the room." "Yes." Lin Jie didn't dare to say anything more, and he poured a clear glass of water for Huo Yue. Huo Yue didn't decline this time, and he sat down in front of Jing Hengchen. He picked up the glass of water and glanced at Lin Jie as he was exiting the room while asking Jing Hengchen, "This glass of water isn't poisoned, is it, Hallmaster?" Jing Hengchen had a hard time suppressing his anger, and he erupted once more. "You." He almost slapped Huo Yue across the face. He really wanted to murder this young man. "No." He considered the importance of that automatic mechanism, and ultimately restrained himself and answered with a calm look on his face. "That's good." Then, Huo Yue didn't drink the water, and placed the glass back on the table as he spoke. Huo Yue looked like he still didn't trust him, and Jing Hengchen's face was starting to flush. The seller always starts with a high price, but the buyer will always go on the lower side. "Name a price that I can accept." Jing Hengchen tried to be direct as he could. He didn't want to continue being entangled with this dude. "I named my price, didn't I? I want 3 Class 9 soul tools. I can't go any lower." Huo Yue stuck out 3 fingers once more. For some reason, Jing Hengchen felt as if Huo Yue's middle finger was especially glaring. "You know that's not possible." Jing Hengchen muttered coldly. "If that's the case, then you can go." "Oh. Then why did you call me back? We've been through this several times already." Huo Yue stood up and started walking out as he spoke, as if he wasn't afraid of anything at all. "You." Jing Hengchen could feel his organs exploding with rage. "Come back," he shouted once more, stopping Huo Yue in his tracks. Huo Yue's heart wasn't as evil as it appeared to be. The truth was that he admired Jing Hengchen, and he admired his teacher, the dragon god Douluo. Elder Mu's judgment of Jing Hengchen. Elder Mu held Jing Hengchen in high regard. Elder Mu said Jing Hengchen was a ruthless, ambitious, and formidable character, and the only problem was the kinks in his personality. Honor was a little too important to him, and he was headstrong and irritable at the same time. How could one judge something calmly and fairly if one got angry? And that meant others would have a chance to take advantage of him. Otherwise, why would Huo Yue play dirty like this for no reason? 3 Class 9 soul tools is impossible. I admit that your innovation is exceptional, but you have to understand that the problems I've just pointed out are also true. How about I name a price for you instead? 1 Class 8 soul tool, and 5 million gold soul coins. How about that? Huo Yue shook his head vigorously. "No, no. That's the product of my blood and sweat, and I can't just sell it for such a low price. I want Class 9 soul tools. Class 8 soul tools are meaningless." "No, Class 9 soul tools are strategically important to the Sun Moon Empire. How can we just casually give them out?" Huo Yue patted himself on the chest and said, "I don't think that's right, Hallmaster. When you were inside the Sea God's Pavilion all those years ago, my teacher asked you for one, and you didn't even give anything in return, and you just took one out without much hesitation. You just gave him the Hengchen's blessing, and I'm still benefiting from it." Veins popped out all over Jing Hengchen's forehead. This boy just wanted to touch a sore spot. The situation back then was different, and he probably wouldn't have returned with his life if he hadn't given that gift. However, he was rendered speechless by Huo Yue's assertion, and the redness of his face began to turn green from all that restraint. "No means no. 2 Class 8 soul tools." Jing Hengchen growled, and he suddenly stood up and planted his hands on the desk, as if he were going to devour him. Huo Yue decided to stop talking, as if he was afraid of Jing Hengchen, but he still shook his head adamantly and determinedly. "What do you want? Besides Class 9 soul tools, what else do you want?" Jing Hengchen returned to his seat, and his temper cooled a little. Huo Yue pondered for a moment, then said, "Hallmaster, creativity and innovation have no price. The soul tool I have crafted may be simple and rickety, but I believe that my invention is extremely valuable, and that's the reason why I have named such an outrageous price." "Calm down. All right, I don't want Class 9 soul tools anymore, and I know you hate to part with them. Do you think this will work?" "What do you mean I hate to part with them? I can't just give them away." Jing Hengchen had just calmed himself down, but his anger was already starting to erupt once again. "You can also give me materials for Class 9 soul tools that are equal in value. You should know that Shrek Academy still lacks precious and exotic materials." Huo Yue attempted another tactful inquisition. Jing Hengchen thought to himself that this fella had finally revealed his foxtail. "This must be your real motive, eh? What do you want? What do you want?" Jing Hengchen lowered his voice and said, "There are many different kinds of exotic materials, and their values are hard to gauge." Huo Yue said, "I only want a few things. Let me know if it's all right. 5,000 kilograms of purple gold bronze, 5,000 kilograms of sky spirit silver, 1,000 pieces of underworld crystals that are each at least 10 centimeters long, and 100 kilograms of extraterrestrial meteoric steel. I want 500 kilograms of Sun Moon alloy that's authentically crafted by the illustrious Virtue Hall. I also want the excellent Sun Essence gold that I saw the other time, and then I want 180 pieces of silver dragon scale. Don't tell me you don't have these things. I've seen the Academy's history, and the Academy has hunted and killed a silver dragon before. A single silver dragon probably has millions of scales, and I only want 180. That's not even 1%, so don't be stingy, please." Jing Hengchen's face turned a shade darker after every item Huo Yue listed. His face was now black with traces of green, and even the green contained shades of purple. He was absolutely at the brink of erupting with rage and fury. The things that Huo Yue requested were all the best rare and exotic metals. The last few requests were especially so. The Sun Essence gold and Star Moon alloy were all considered extremely precious and invaluable materials, and they were all used to construct Class 9 soul tool formation arrays. Even 1 kilogram was incredibly expensive, let alone several hundred kilograms. "Are you trying to clean out the illustrious Virtue Hall's warehouse?" Jing Hengchen stood up yet again without thinking. He shook the black box Huo Yue had given him earlier vigorously and said, "You want to exchange this broken thing that's made of steel for so many things? You must. Be daydreaming. Even greedy and avaricious people aren't as outrageous as you. Take your toy and get out of here. Don't let me see you again. He tossed the black box at Huo Yuao as he spoke. Huo Yuao didn't leave this time. He grabbed the black box and chuckled. Don't be angry, Hallmaster. We can still discuss the price. Furthermore, I am only asking for things that are equivalent in value to 3 Class 9 soul tools, and I haven't even raised the price even though you've mocked my design time and time again. These things are probably equivalent in total value to 3 Class 9 soul tools. I'm not bullshitting you. Who promised to give you precious metals that are equivalent in value to 3 Class 9 soul tools? Jing Hengchen glared at him. Huo Yuao replied with a grieving and wronged look on his face. Then we can negotiate further. Which one do you think is too much? Can we lower the requested amounts? Jing Hengchen roared. Everything is too much. And that 180 silver dragon scales. We hunted the silver dragon more than 3,000 years ago. The materials that are left are exceptionally precious and invaluable. How many scales were kept until today? I don't even think there are 100 dragon scales left. Not even I have the authority to use them directly. Even I have to obtain the royal family's permission. Huo Yuao replied evenly. But Hallmaster, you control the illustrious Virtue Hall, and your authority is below one man and above everyone else. Not even you can make this decision. I don't believe that. I know the silver dragon scales reputation, and it's something I need. We can take away 10% of that, but you have to give me 90%. We can deduct a little from the rest. I think even 50% is fine. Jing Hengchen's eyes sparkled with cold light as he stared at Huo Yuao's seemingly magnanimous and generous attitude. He really wanted to grind this bastard into dust, but he wouldn't be able to get his hands on this design if he did so. Furthermore, his grandchildren were still in Shrek Academy. He took a deep breath and forcefully suppressed his emotions as he lowered his voice and said, "We will reduce everything that you want to 10% of the original offer, while the silver dragon scales are out of the question. Then we have a deal." Huo Yuao immediately shook his head and said, "Your bargaining is too ruthless. Who shaves off 90% from the start? No. We can take away 10% at most, and I definitely want the silver dragon scale. You can just give me 80 pieces. Bastard. Do you think it's easy for me to account for the outflow of so many resources, but your authority is beneath only one person and above everyone else? 20%. I will give you 5 pieces of silver dragon scale, and that's the most I can do. This is my price. If you don't want it, then scram." Jing Hengchen couldn't take it anymore. He felt as if he would go insane if he continued to tangle himself with this guy. Huo Yuao asked, "Make that 80%. Is that all right?" 20%. Jing Hengchen roared. Huo Yuao said, "You're not being very nice. Aren't we both supposed to compromise until we complete the deal at 50%? Get lost. Scram. Get out of here." Jing Hengchen slammed his palm onto the table, and the wooden desk collapsed to the ground with a boom. Huo Yuao was astonished. He frowned as he stared at Jing Hengchen, who was currently like an erupting volcano, and he said nothing as he turned and left. Jing Hengchen could feel his blood rushing up, and he nearly vomited blood. He could feel his soul power was a little disorganized and disoriented as well. An inscrutable expression flashed across Huo Yuao's face. He glanced at the black box in his hands as he stepped out of Jing Hengchen's office, and he wasn't hasty or hurried at all. From the start, he knew that his negotiations with Jing Hengchen wouldn't be successful on the first try. He wouldn't give up until he got what he wanted. He took his time, but there wasn't much time left. He returned to the dormitory by himself, and nobody came to call him this time. A day quickly passed, and Shrek Academy's exchange program finally came to an end. For formality's sake, the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy conducted a farewell ceremony, and Jing Hengchen himself was present. Fan led the group from Shrek Academy, while Huo Yuao, Hikeitu, Yishiashun, and the other students stood in single file. Everybody had switched back to Shrek Academy's uniforms, which meant they were about to leave this place and return to their own school. Jing Hengchen made a speech that brimmed with warmth during this farewell ceremony. His expression didn't change much, and he seemed extremely calm, as if he had forgotten how upset he was when he met with Huo Yuao the previous day. He would glance at Huo Yuao and flash a smile from time to time, as if he were exceptionally pleased with him. Huo Yuao was a little surprised that his two brazen-faced and shameless friends didn't show up to send him off, and that made him a little sad. "The prince is here." Somebody called out, and the clinking sounds of armor could be heard as soldiers poured in from outside. These soldiers wore silver armor, and they looked well-built and formidable. Everyone recognized them at a glance as the Sun Moon Empire's Imperial Guard. A group of soldiers in light armor followed behind the silver-armored soldiers. They were all more than 30 years old, and their mannerisms were grave and solemn. There were about 50 of them, give or take, but the Shrek Academy students' eyes widened a little once they appeared on the scene. They were soul engineers, military soul engineers. The armor on their bodies was clearly soul armor, and their equipment was uniform and systemic, yet unnaturally exquisite. One would never doubt the formidability of this platoon's fighting strength. The Crown Prince of the Sun Moon Empire, Shu Tianran, somehow swaggered as he rolled into the Sun Moon Empire's great field with a bunch of guards escorting him. Jing Hengchen hurriedly led a group of teachers from the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy to greet him. "Your Highness." Jing Hengchen bowed respectfully, while the other teachers fell to one knee. Shu Tianran smiled faintly and nodded lightly towards Jing Hengchen. Jing Hengchen's eyes squinted a little, and he nodded in return before walking behind Shu Tianran's wheelchair and pushing him onto the field and before the group from Shrek Academy. There was a look of shock in Fan Yu's eyes. What's the Crown Prince of the Sun Moon Empire trying to do, bringing such a large group of soldiers? "Let me introduce you, Teacher Fan Yu. This is the Sun Moon Empire's heir to the throne, the Crown Prince." "Greetings, Crown Prince." Fan Yu bowed lightly. He wasn't a citizen from the Sun Moon Empire, so he naturally wouldn't be too formal when he paid his respects. Shu Tianran gave a warm and amicable smile and said, "Let us do away with the formalities. Teacher Fan Yu, I have yearned to visit your academy for a long time, but it's a pity that I haven't been able to. I will make a personal visit when I get the chance. I heard from Hallmaster Hengchen that your academy's exchange program has ended, so I am here on behalf of the Sun Moon Empire to send everyone off. I hope that the Sun Moon Empire and your academy can have more exchange programs, and we can use these programs to improve our relations and camaraderie. You're too kind, Your Highness. He's here to send us off." Fan Yu was even more astounded at this point. The farewell ceremony was already ending, and he didn't want to dally any longer, so he said, "Thank you, Your Highness, and thank you, Hallmaster, for sending us off. It's getting late, and I am about to get on the road with my students. Are you traveling with us, Hallmaster Hengchen?" The exchange students from both sides would be at Maple Leaf City again, just like they were at the start, and Jing Hengchen would definitely follow along himself in the interest of ensuring their safety. Jing Hengchen nodded and said, "I will send everyone a little further, then. To give me a moment, Teacher Fan Yu. I have some things to convey to the Crown Prince." "All right." Fan Yu didn't know what Jing Hengchen was going to do, and he didn't think too much about it. The exchange program had been long, and was now already over, while Xiao Hengchen and Meng Hengchen had yet to return. He wasn't afraid of Jing Hengchen doing something to them. He immediately brought the students over to one side. Huo Yuao's eyes had been fixed on Jing Hengchen and the Crown Prince this whole time. Only he could faintly guess what the Crown Prince's purpose was in personally sending them off. Jing Hengchen and Shu Tianran whispered a few sentences to each other, and Jing Hengchen seemed to take something from Shu Tianran's hands. Shu Tianran departed while his guards escorted him, and he expressed his warmth in regards to Fan Yu and the Shrek Academy students once more before he left. At least in terms of appearance, people would easily have a good impression of this Crown Prince. "Come here, Huo Yuao." Jing Hengchen stepped forward and waved towards Huo Yuao. "Here we go." Huo Yuao felt his heart skip a beat, and he shot a glance at Fan Yu to show that everything was fine as he walked briskly up before Jing Hengchen. "Hallmaster." He never lacked politeness or courtesy. There was a complicated expression in Jing Hengchen's eyes as he stared at the youth before him. 50%. Just like you said. 30 silver dragon scales. This is the most I could get, and there is nothing more I can do. If you think the price is right, hand the design over to me. He reached out to Huo Yuao with his right hand as he spoke. There was a starlight sapphire ring in the center of his palm, which was much larger than his own, while the patterns were also clearer. The ring itself was probably worth several million gold soul coins due to its rarity. Huo Yuao didn't push his limits, and put the ring on his finger as he said, "Deal." He touched his 24 moonlit bridges as he spoke and retrieved a small box before that he then handed to Jing Hengchen. Jing Hengchen didn't dare to be careless, and quickly opened the box to check. There was a scroll of paper inside, and the drawings on it were extremely complex and intricate. Jing Hengchen's eyes were powerful, and he could already confirm that this was the real deal from one look at the papers. Their content immediately gave him a sense of clarity and enlightenment. "I finally have it." Both Huo Yuao and Jing Hengchen had the exact same feeling in their hearts. "Don't you want to verify its contents?" Jing Hengchen stared at Huo Yuao, amused. Huo Yuao chuckled and said, I trust you. If you still try to deceive me or play games with me at this point, then you're not the hallmaster of the illustrious virtue hall. Am I right? Jing Hengchen grunted coldly and said, weren't you like that yesterday? Do you know how difficult it was for me to convince the Crown Prince for this many resources? Huo Yuao laughed and said, but you convinced him in the end. No, below one man, and above everyone else. Jing Hengchen laughed along with him, and patted Huo Yuao on the shoulder. He heaved a sigh and said, if only you were my disciple. Let's go. I'll send you guys off. Fan Nu and Iketu had no idea what Jing Hengchen had said to Huo Yuao. Jing Hengchen led several teachers from the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy and released their flying-type soul tools. They escorted Huo Yuao and the others while everyone soared into the sky and flew towards the east. The students from Shrek Academy were all eager and excited as they traveled. They were finally returning home to Shrek Academy. The caution and wariness they had had in the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy hadn't been easy, but these 2 years of study had exposed them to the most advanced concepts and principles regarding the forging of soul tools. Every student took away much from this experience, but how much they absorbed and how much they actually learned depended on the effort they had put in. Jing Hengchen didn't speak much on the road, and he just silently channeled his flying-type soul tool. Huo Yuao quietly checked the contents inside his starlight sapphire ring. He could only describe what he saw as dazzling and dizzying. The truth was that he hadn't expected Jing Hengchen to take out so much in the end. The Duga Divine Crossbow's automatic mechanism was good, but it wasn't worth even 20% of these precious materials, and Huo Yuao was satisfied enough with his hoard. If Jing Hengchen hadn't sought him out today, he would have looked for Jing Hengchen anyway to agree to his offer. He hadn't expected to receive such a pleasant surprise. However, Huo Yuao felt a little wary of Jing Hengchen's generosity. After several hours, Jing Hengchen guided them to the spot that both parties had agreed on a long time ago. Jing Hengchen brought the group to the ground. The people from Shrek Academy were already there on the other side. The people that came forward to complete the exchange were Yan Shaosh from Shrek Academy's Martial Soul Department, accompanied by Shen Liner of Shrek Academy's Soul Tool Department. Both deans were notable individuals, and their presence indicated how much emphasis they placed on this exchange. However, they were the only two who were here. The others behind them were the exchange students from the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy. Xiao Hengchen and Meng Hengchen didn't look that different from before. In the end, they had already grown up before the exchange program had begun. Huo Yuao, however, had still been in his adolescence. The siblings seemed more calm and stable, and they stared at the Huo Yuao the moment he appeared. Huo Yuao wore a faint smile on his face, and he appeared as casual and indifferent as ever. We meet again, Hallmaster Hengchen. Yan Shaosh came forward with a bright smile on his face. Even though he was talking to Jing Hengchen, he was looking at Huo Yuao. Huo Yuao's frame had changed quite a bit, and even his aura was very different from before. But Yan Shaosh would definitely not recognize the wrong person. His demeanor is more withdrawn, and his eyes are more plain and undramatic. This fella has improved so much. Shen Liner's expression was a lot warmer than Yan Shaosh's. She understood the contributions Huo Yuao had made to Shrek Academy over these 2 years better than Yan Shaosh. She could even say that he had relied entirely upon himself to advance Shrek Academy's Soul Tool Department by more than 1,000 years. Jing Hengchen would never know that Huo Yuao had refined and perfected much of the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy's Soul Tool blueprints using his spiritual power, and had passed them on to the Soul Tool Department for research and manufacture. The Soul Tool Department had improved by leaps and bounds over the past 2 years, and Huo Yuao could be considered Shrek Academy's hero. Greetings, Dean Yan. Your glamour is the same as usual. Jing Hengchen smiled as he stepped forward to shake hands with Yan Shaosh and Shen Liner. The two sneaky deans were all smiles, and people who didn't know what was going on would definitely think they were the best of friends. Yan Shaosh smiled and said, I have brought your grandchildren back in one piece. Hallmaster, they have improved a lot over the past 2 years. They are hardworking, and their desire to learn is impressive. I am very satisfied, and I hope we can have more exchange programs like this in the future. Jing Hengchen chuckled and said, we can discuss things when we return, and see whether this exchange program can become a regular thing. If it turns out to be the case, I'm sure it will be very beneficial to both our academy's development. Then we shall wait for your good news. Yan Shaosh released Jing Hengchen's hand, and the two of them greeted each other with smiles on their faces before they gestured to their respective students. Fan Nu quickly brought Huo Yuao and the others behind the two deans. Xiao Hengchen, Meng Hengchen, and the others acted similarly, and everyone switched positions. Only the students knew what they had learned and how much they had taken away from more than 2 years of exchange learning. At this moment, the exchange program had finally come to an end. Farewell. Jing Hengchen didn't want to remain any longer, and he greeted the two deans one more time before he unleashed his flying type soul tool along with his students, and they all soared into the sky over the city and far into the distance. They weren't afraid of attracting the attention of others. Yan Shaosh watched them disappear over the horizon before he withdrew his gaze. He surveyed the students that had just completed the exchange program and said, welcome home, children. It was just a simple sentence, but the students from the soul tool department could feel a surge of warmth in their hearts, and everyone's eyes began to swell with tears. Yes, it's time to go home. Huo Yuao stepped briskly beside Yan Shaosh and whispered, I have some things to tell you, Dean Yan. Hey. In terms of seniority, they were both elder Muse disciples, and Huo Yuao could even be considered his little junior brother. Furthermore, Huo Yuao had gone through so much toil, and had given so much blood and sweat to the academy over the past 2 years. Yan Shaosh was acutely aware of the amount of precious resources and whatnot that Huo Yuao had sent back to Shrek Academy. Take everyone to have a meal in the hotel over there, Fan Nu. We're not in a hurry like Jing Hengchen, and we can hit the road after everyone has eaten. All right. Fan Nu was now the Soul Tool Department's vice dean, and he was also a member of the Sea Gods Pavilion. His status was very different from before. After everyone left, and only Yan Shaosh and Shen Liner remained, Yan Shaosh said amiably, you can speak now, Yuao. Gentle spiritual undulations appeared, and Yan Shaosh wasn't seen doing anything at all as a layer of spiritual power that the naked eye couldn't detect enveloped the three of them. Even if someone was right beside them, that person wouldn't be able to hear their discussion. He was a transcendent Douluo, after all. Huo Yuao was a spiritual type soul master, and he knew that even he couldn't manipulate his spiritual power as precisely as Dean Yan could. Dean Yan, Ding Shen, it's like this. I think the illustrious virtue hall might be harboring some evil intentions against us, and they might attack us on the way back. Oh. Does Jing Hengchen have no shame at all? Shen Liner asked skeptically. Huo Yuao said, he has too much pride. I sold him a design on the way back and asked for an exorbitant price. I quoted many precious metals to him, and he seemed very unwilling back then. However, he still agreed before we left, and we didn't negotiate any further. I think he might want to ambush me on the way back to take those things back. Yan Shaosh asked curiously, how much precious metal did you extort from him? Exactly? He's the hallmaster of the illustrious virtue hall, and he doesn't even have that bit of magnanimity. Plus, the design you sold him, will it? Huo Yuao chortled and whispered something, and Yan Shaosh and Shen Liner's expression immediately grew strange. Yan Shaosh forced down the urge to laugh and said, you're becoming more and more evil, young man. What if you make him so angry that he decides to act on it? Come, let me see your harvest. Huo Yuao took out the starlight sapphire ring on his finger. He didn't give it to Yan Shaosh, but passed it to Shen Liner instead. Shen Liner was ultimately more familiar with the precious metals used to forge soul tools. Shen Liner took the ring and briefly scanned its contents with her spiritual power. A look of astonishment came over her face, and she stared at Huo Yuao with incredulous eyes. You didn't empty the illustrious virtue hall's secret warehouse, did you? Yuao, this is too much. Oh my god. The value of these items almost can't be calculated with money. No wonder that you think they want to attack you. If I were on the other end of the deal, even I might not be able to resist making a move against you. Let me see. Yan Shaosh took the ring from Shen Liner's hands. Even though he didn't know much about precious metals, he still had the ability to recognize certain things. He infused his spiritual power into the ring, and could immediately feel dense undulations of energy, and a tremendous volume of light. Well done. Yan Shaosh handed the ring back to Huo Yuao, and he could no longer hide the smile on his face. I can't wait to find out how the hallmaster's face will look once he uses your design to craft things. Ha ha ha. Shen Lina snapped. Stop laughing. Right now, the most important thing is to ensure the children's safe return home. It's alright if Jing Hingzhen does nothing, but once he does, then it will be a heavy attack, and an operation that he will only execute if he's confident of success. At that time, his target may not only be Yuao, it might include the both of us, and he might make sure that we never return to Shrek Academy. This will be good news for the Sun Moon Empire. Yan Xiaosh smiled plainly and said, whether he has the ability to do so remains to be seen. What suggestions do you have, Yuao? A person with Yan Xiaosh's status from another academy would never seek a student's opinion this way. The way his question was phrased practically meant Huo Yuao had been lifted to almost the same status as himself. He was trying to solicit Huo Yuao's opinion, and this wasn't just simply asking a question. Huo Yuao contemplated momentarily, then said, I think we should split up. I am their target, and you two might be their targets as well. This means that everything they do will be targeted towards us, and they need to eliminate us with a single strike. So I doubt they will split up themselves. In the end, the others don't really mean much to them. If we split up, our party will have 3 people and we will be a lot more mobile than before. If we travel with the other students, we have to watch out for them and protect them, which might put us in more danger. Yan Xiaosh nodded and said, all right, we'll follow your idea. We are aware of everything you've done for the academy, Yuao. Shen Lina raised this to the Sea Gods Pavilion, and the elders have all approved to give you a seat in the Sea Gods Pavilion. Even though you'll only have the last seat, you are the youngest member of the Sea Gods Pavilion in history. Huo Yuao was taken aback. He had never expected the academy to accord and bestow such glory upon him. Dean Yan, Yan Xiaosh patted him on the shoulder and said, you can call me senior brother from now on. We can't mix up the hierarchy, otherwise, our teacher's spirit in the afterlife will not forgive me. It must have been tiring and exhausting for you over these past 2 years. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.